Tomorrow is International Neonatal Screening Day. In Halifax, the IWK's Maritime Newborn Screening Service handles newborn screening for all 3 maritime provinces. It's an important service that saves lives. Here to tell us more is Corey Filagi, a maritime-born screening clinical coordinator and genetic counselor. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us, Corey.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, Corey, I want to know a little bit about the Maritime Newborn Screening Service. Who's eligible? How does it work?
Yeah, good questions. This is so newborn screening is a free test that's offered to all babies that are born in the Maritimes and the rest of Canada as well. And we screen for these rare but importantly treatable conditions. And these are conditions where a baby can have symptoms in the first few weeks or months of life. And so we want to find babies with these conditions so that we can start treatment.
That's fascinating. What are some of the conditions you're testing for?
Yeah, there's 28 different conditions. A lot of them are incredibly rare. We have the full list on our website, but some of the more common conditions that people may have heard of are cystic fibrosis, which is a condition that affects the lungs, also sickle cell disease, which affects the red blood cells. And a lot of the conditions are actually what we call metabolic conditions. And so this affects the way that the body processes food.
That's really interesting. When is testing done and how does it take place?
Yeah, so for babies, they get a heel poke between day 1 and 2 of life. And from this heel poke, a few drops of blood are put onto a special piece of absorbent paper called a blotter. And this is taken either at a birth hospital or at home by a midwife. And then these samples are sent to us at the IWK for testing of these 28 conditions. There's a really hardworking team at the lab here that gets those results out really quickly because we want to have those results within the baby's first week of life.
Wow, that's fascinating. And I didn't even know this was happening. So it's wonderful to hear about this. What is the process like, Corey, after the testing's complete?
So after the testing is done, most babies will screen normal on the newborn screen and require no further follow-up. Some babies will what we call screen positive or flag for one of the conditions. It does not mean that they have the condition because this is a screening test, but what it means is that we need to do further follow-up to figure out whether they have the condition or not. So in that case, families are getting a call typically from me and talking about the result, and then I'm connecting them with a clinical team that's going to do all of this follow-up testing, figure out whether the baby has the condition or not. If they don't, then that's good news. And if they do, then that team will provide treatment and take good care of them.
Tell me a bit, Corey, about the impact that this service has and why it's so important to provide the service in our communities.
It is a really important service, and that's why it is recommended for all babies. For example, these conditions, a baby can look totally healthy and then start to have symptoms, and sometimes those symptoms can be irreversible. So, for example, one of the conditions that we screen for is PKU or phenylketonuria. This is a metabolic condition where the body can't process a certain component of food, and then harmful substances can build up in the body and cause brain damage. And without newborn screening, the brain damage is the first sign of the condition. But if a baby is screened for PKU, then we can figure out that they have it, give them the proper food that their body can digest, and then the brain damage doesn't happen.
Wow. Corey, for yourself as a genetic counselor, it must be interesting, but also there's must be some heartwarming portions of the job too, where you think that you and your team at the IWK, I mean, you really there's so much impact and so much information coming from a baby's first, few hours, days of life. That must be incredible to be, to be working in that field.
Yeah, I think everyone at the lab here feels the same way. Everyone is working incredibly hard, and the work is very complex. But I think at the end of the day, we all recognize that the work that we do can save a baby's life. And so that is why we have such a dedicated team. And, I don't think any family wants to get a call from me that their baby requires some follow-up. And a lot of the times the outcomes are either that, again, the baby does not have the condition, or again, that these conditions are treatable. And so, again, that's why screening is so important so that we can find these babies and give them the healthiest start to life.
It really, really is. Thank you so much, Corey, for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Corey Filagi is a genetic counselor at the IWK. Tomorrow, International Neonatal Screening Day.